Hi all, welcome to the Polco Minute, where you hear the latest best practices and news in local government and civic engagement. I'm Angelica Waddell with this week's headlines. Today we start with a piece from Bloomberg City Lab written by Amy Liu. Liu says that post-pandemic city efforts should be focused on regional economies and recovery work and not on attracting new remote workers. As millions continue to work from home, many cities have shifted their focus to attracting more remote workers. But according to Liu, there is little evidence that workers will relocate en masse, and city leaders would do better to focus on people and businesses already present in their communities. Leaders are encouraged to use this transformative time to dismantle local practices and norms that have stifled the economic potential of so many minority workers and entrepreneurs. Addressing structural issues will help cities emerge more prosperous and inclusive. And Liu argues that those choices are not just a matter of charity or social policy. There is market demand to rebuild in order to promote density, walkability, reimagine office districts, easier commutes, and new retail and commercial corridors across all neighborhoods. She says small business investors and retailers have long overlooked major market opportunities because of bias. An example of this can be found in the practice of appraisers and consumers who value homes and businesses in Black majority neighborhoods less than similar ones in other neighborhoods. Systemic discrimination like this robs hardworking households of earnings that could be reinvested in education, home renovations, or new business. And according to Liu, Black majority neighborhoods were underserviced by retail options long before COVID-19. This may seem like a small issue, but when we examine the history of past recessions, we learn that economic shock disproportionately hurts minority and disadvantaged business owners and neighborhoods. For example, women and Black-owned businesses were rated the least likely to survive the Great Recession. This undercut family wealth and key commercial corridors in many neighborhoods with local businesses. Economic recovery tends to happen much faster in more prosperous zip codes. The future of our cities is not a competition between downtowns, neighborhood districts, and suburban corridors. But leaders must strive to rebuild regions as a network of dense, vibrant activity centers and communities to ensure a better tomorrow. Next, I would like to share with you a few excerpts from a poem written by Pam Davis, the Assistant City Manager for the City of Boulder, Colorado. Davis wrote this poem in response to the devastating gun violence in a local grocery store that resulted in the loss of 10 lives in March of this year. As tragedies like this one in Boulder become all too common, residents and leaders alike need to find ways to grieve, process, and heal. As Davis points out, the local grocery store is central to any community and is deeply woven into the lives of residents. She writes this heartfelt poem in the hopes that it will help her community and others begin to make sense out of the senseless. The poem is titled, "The Public Square is a Grocery Store," and I will read a few lines from it here. The thing about public squares, though, the thing about grocery stores, is that even when they're broken, even when they're not open, they still belong to everyone. I keep hearing that truth spoken. For the past week, in every place I have been, from every face that I've seen, is someone saying, "That's my grocery store." And because it belongs to all of us, from the big to the small of us, windows can be repaired. The memories can still be shared. And once again, we will return to the public square. Let's wrap up today's episode with some wisdom from Kristen Hendricks at Leadership Vitae. Hendricks has years of experience working with leaders in every sector, from military officers to multinationals. And when it comes to effective leadership, she argues that ego is the one thing that can make or break us. It's essential that we remember no matter how far we climb or how much we learn, there is always more out there. Hendricks says that there is always someone with different insights or ideas that we can integrate. And as an excellent leader never gets overly attached to the idea of themselves as an expert or decision maker, we can't allow our egos to get in the way of new knowledge and experience. A leader needs to be confident, yes, but also able to put their ego aside. Make decisions and affect outcomes, but always remember to make success about your team and not just about yourself. As Hendricks says, this is the dance of all leaders. We can either master our ego or it can master us. Thanks for watching the Polco Minute with me. My name is Angelica Waddell, Director of Communications at Polco National Research Center. Polco makes it easy for local governments to get accurate and reliable feedback from their communities. How are you keeping up with today's engagement issues and trends? Join a panel discussion with other local government leaders and us nationwide. Connect with me on LinkedIn or send us a note at polco.us/contact to let us know if you're in. See you next time.